I came across a video earlier today. It was a live from my suggestions in YouTube because of the algorithm of most of the things that I watch, which is either boxing related or fitness related. I came across this video and I clicked on it, and they were talking about Usyk and Fury, and somehow the conversation went from Fury ducking Usyk to Canelo being able to beat past fighters dating back as early as the 1900s. And it went from you're a fool, you're an idiot, and you're an imbecile if you believe that Jack Johnson can beat Tyson Fury, that Harry Greb can beat Canelo. This is what this guy said. Now, I don't remember anyone ever saying, I don't remember the people that I know, because I feel like this person is talking about uploaders that I know, that I consider a friend here on YouTube. I don't remember any of these guys saying Harry Greb could beat Canelo and that Jack Johnson could beat Tyson Fury. I've never heard that. If it was stated, I've never heard that before. But if a person believes that Canelo could beat Harry Greb, and then the other person believes that Harry Greb can beat Canelo, guess what? Canelo fanboy, there's no wrong or right answer. Do you know why there's no wrong or right answer? Because they'll never fight. It's a fantasy matchup. There is no wrong or right answer. There just isn't. But you can state facts, and that from what we see today and what we see back then. The whole idea that a modern fighter is just so good that they could just run all over all the past fighters because of modern training, modern diet, modern technology, and so on and so on. And I've said this time and time again. When modern boxing fanboys, the Floyd Mayweather guys who think Floyd Mayweather is the best ever, the guys who believe that Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua, that these guys and Usyk are the best ever, that Triple G is the greatest middleweight of all time. A lot of you fans put past fighters in the most uncomfortable position to make your argument, to justify your argument. And it is never, ever, ever, ever the flip side to that, of placing those boxers in the conditions of back then. It's never been taking place. Now, if you look at this thumbnail, that's Cunningham, a natural cruiserweight. And then that's Canelo, who was clearly a natural middleweight, but he started out at 147. But that's another topic. Canelo almost got knocked out by a lightweight. An older, past his best lightweight that wasn't even that good. Nowhere near as good as his brother Miguel Cotto. And he almost knocked Canelo out. Almost put him out. And had he won, had he had more stamina, had he had more strength, the talent enough to beat Canelo, we would never see Canelo again, possibly. He would just be another fighter who they thought was going to be a star. And then we have Cunningham, natural cruiserweight, not known to be a big puncher. None of that. Been known to cheat, actually. He's been known to removing the stitches from the thumb. And he's thumbed a few guys in professional bouts. And he's actually even got caught doing it. It's on video. But he put Tyson Fury on his back. On his back. And if it wasn't for being undersized, and if it wasn't for the lack of endurance and being outweighed, he probably would have beat Tyson Fury, and we wouldn't have seen the Tyson Fury versus Wilder. It's a possibility. But the notion, the narrative that Tyson Fury would just run all over every heavyweight in the past because he's bigger and stronger, that could be true. That could be true. If Rocky Marciano, at best at 193 pounds, was fighting a 270-pound heavyweight that's almost 6'10", there's a possibility that Rocky Marciano can't beat this guy. But on the flip side, if Tyson Fury fought back in the days, he wouldn't be as big as he is. He wouldn't be sloppy looking. He wouldn't have the PEDs that he's been caught before using. I don't think he'd be on cocaine. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But he wouldn't be that big because the food was different. There was no chemicals and steroids in the food. There was no PEDs. There was no quote unquote modern training, which I state over and over again is overrated. There wouldn't be none of that. If Tyson Fury fought in the early 1900s, he would be tall and skinny. He would be tall and skinny like most of the men back then because of the food. There wasn't potato chips and hot dogs and all the junk food that we have now that's making society overweight. He would be tall and skinny. And we don't know who would be training him. But to automatically say, oh, Tyson Fury would run all over Jack Johnson and he would just beat, Rocky Marciano and Joe Louis and Canelo. I find it hilarious that you guys always find the best fighters that you could think of today to fight the guys in the past. I thought all modern boxing was advanced. I thought all modern boxing is advanced. Because according to your ideology, guys like Danny Garcia and Ugas would wipe the floor on Carmen Basilio and Kid Gavilan. According to your ideology, Paulie Malignaggi would be able to beat Gene Fullmer, Kid Gavilan. These are the fighters that... Can you imagine Emil Griffith versus Paulie Malignaggi? I thought all modern fighters could beat the fighters of the past. I think it's very stupid that, it's automatic. Oh, Usyk would just run all over Joe Louis with all that footwork. With his footwork, he'd turn him around. He'd be oversized. He'd be heavier. He wouldn't be heavier than him. None of the fighters today would be as big as they are because it's same day weigh-in back then, and the food is different, and the diet is different. Everything is different. Nutrition is different. Stop trying to place modern day fighters at this all-time great. You put modern fighters at this level way beyond past fighters and putting them in a situation where it's no argument that today's fighter would win. We have to place these fighters on their times. It's every modern fighter, right? According to your ideology, Andrade would just outbox every single middleweight in the past. And he could barely get past Vanes Monterosa. You modern day boxing fans are hilarious. I'm talking about you fanboys. It's funny how you guys are just so hung up on these fighters today who could barely make weight, who have modern day training and still miss weight, still look overweight. They rehydrate. They're eating junk food. They rehydrate in a higher weight class. Guys like Benavidez is too fat to make weight, loses his weight on the scale. You know, today we have forced catch weights because certain people can't make weight. And then they got all these videos of modern day training and they could barely go 12 rounds. They're huffing and puffing after 6 rounds. And I'm supposed to believe that a modern day boxer today would be able to fight in the past where guys sometimes went more than 15 rounds. Sometimes fighters fought 2 and 3 times in a week. I'm not buying it. If you guys feel like Canelo and every other fighter could just wipe the floor off every past fighter, go ahead. You could do whatever you want. You could think whatever you want. Just like I could think whatever I want. But at the end of the day, a fantasy matchup is just a fantasy matchup. There isn't no right or wrong. So if you think Canelo could beat Harry Greb, that's what be it. I have Harry Greb beating Canelo. Because Canelo is huffing and puffing, looking pathetic when he fought Bivol. Pathetic.